Hey gang, Tom Corley here with your tip of the week. This week's topic, the truth about happiness. Happiness, I found in my research, is an unachievable goal. It's actually impossible to be happy your entire life. The sensation that we call happiness, the feeling that we call happiness, is really nothing more than a temporary boost in your happiness baseline or your dopamine baseline. You see, happiness is triggered by an increase in the neurotransmitter dopamine. So when uh, that dopamine level rises for whatever reason, something good happens in your life, you're excited about a trip, your family's getting together, dopamine levels rise. So we feel good, but it's temporary. We always revert back to our dopamine baseline or our happiness baseline. So if long-term happiness is your goal in life, it's one you're always going to fail to achieve because it's going to be temporary. Fulfillment, however, is another thing. Fulfillment is the feeling that you are living a meaningful and rewarding life. Um, you feel fulfilled when you're engaging in an activity that you're passionate about, that you like, or that you love. Anything you do that you like or you love is going to trigger passion, which is an emotion. So fulfillment is really the sensation that you are living a good life. And it's not the same feeling as happiness because there's no boost or there's no temporary boost in your dopamine levels. Rather, when you engage in fulfillment activities, like for me, writing is a fulfillment activity. Every time I engage in my writing activity, I feel great. I'm happy about my life. Happiness is the wrong word, but I love my life. So what's different between fulfillment and happiness is that fulfillment can last a long time. And if you engage in an activity on a regular basis, or if you do something for work that makes you feel fulfilled, it actually increases your dopamine baseline. It doesn't give you a temporary boost in dopamine, it actually elevates the baseline. So you have this long-term feeling of really loving your life. You feel rewarded, you feel engaged, you feel like you're pursuing something that is your purpose in life. So fulfillment increases the dopamine baseline on a long-term basis. Happiness increases it temporarily, and then it reverts back down. The reason fulfillment is able to do this is because it taps into the emotions, the positive emotions center of the brain every time you engage in that passionate activity, that activity that you love. So the key is engaging in activities that you're passionate about, because then you elevate your dopamine baseline rather than boost it temporarily. You elevate it on a longer term basis. And if you consistently engage in those fulfillment activities, the things that you're passionate about, you're going to increase your dopamine baseline and you're going to feel like life is great. And imagine feeling good about yourself, about your life, your entire life. That's fulfillment. It makes you feel good about your life on the long term, for the long term, unlike happiness, which is temporary. Fulfillment really should be your goal, not happiness. That's my tip of the week, and I'll see you next week with our next tip. Thanks, and have a great week.